Hello children, how are you all? I'm Robinson, your social science teacher from Bharathidhasanar Matric Higher Secondary School, Arakkonam. Okay children, in previous video session we discussed about the revolution of America. The same time we call that is a war of independence also. And we completed the results of the American War of Independence. And today we are going to start a new topic, that is French Revolution. So before we are going to start this topic, we need to know that where the France is located and when this problem is started. Let's start the lesson. So France, of course it is in one of the country of European continent. Where it is located? Here. So this is the location of France. So in this place there was a revolution was taken place in the year of 1789 to 1795. During these years only there was a revolution in the place of France. Why this was a revolution taken place? What is the reason behind it? Before that we need to know that the classes, the structure of the France. So there are some three estates, otherwise three classes are there. The first class, otherwise first state, is known as the clergy. Clergy, it consists of a people who works in churches, which means priest. Okay, so they are the first hierarchy people of the France administration. Okay, class wise. And second one, that is known as king, queen, nobles, and so on. So their neighbors and relations and everybody will comes under the second class, nobility. And third one, that is known as remaining first class and second class. We know that there are some teachers, doctors, businessmen, peasants, and everybody's are there. So they are known as third class. What is the problem here? Actually, the third class people, common people, the common people only had to pay a plenty of taxes. What about remaining 1 and 2? They no need to pay any kind of taxes. They lived in luxurious life and lavish life. All the taxes which was given by the and paid by only the common people. So this is not like by the common people, and they started to resist their voice against the first two classes. This is only is known as French Revolution. And after that, who was the ruler at that time? During 1789, the ruler of France is known as Mr. King Louis XVI. So Louis XVI he was the ruler of France, and his wife Mary Antoinette. So both the persons are the ruler of the France. The person, ruler of France, Louis XVI, he has lived a very lavish life. He didn't work for the growth of the people. So he worked only for the growth of his and his family members and the nobilities, very particularly the clergies. So the people will is not fulfilled by the person ruler. So that only the people they started to overthrow the kingship in France. And after that, the philosophers who played a predominant role in the French Revolution, they are known as three persons. First person, Rousseau, and second person, Voltaire, and third one is known as Montesquieu. So these three persons who played a very important role, and they given a number of guidelines and to write the voice against the people of rulers, first two classes. And with the support of these three persons only, the people they start to raise their voice. So here the person very particularly, Rousseau, he said, all men and women are born free, but everywhere is chained. So we are born free, but we are chained by a number of reasons. This is not fair. So we need to raise our voice against the hierarchy rule, which means the kingship rule. The people rights is not given to them properly by the person, ruler. So we need to resist the person. This is the word said by these three persons. At the same time, they given three important words, that is known as liberty, equality and fraternity. These three words only given, a very inspired one for the people of French. We know that what is the meaning of liberty. Liberty means freedom. Equality, treating everybody as the equal. And fraternity. So fraternity is known as being as the brothers and sisters. So brotherhood feeling, sisterhood feeling, that is known as fraternity. These three words was given by the philosophers of French, and the people also, they were inspired and they started to raise the voice against the French government. So the situation of France, actually the people of France, they do not have a sufficient economic. So there was an economic clout in the place of France, and after that the political rights was given to the people, that is very margin, very less in number. All the rights which was held by the people of the first two classes. The third classes, they do not have any kind of much rights. So the people, they resist. And third one here, this is very important one for the reason for French Revolution. The resource of the France totally was drained. Why? Because the ruler of France, he involved in the war. So during the France involved in war, at that time too much of resources were spent for capturing other places, colonies. So at that time the France resources totally was drained. And after that the people, they lived in economic crisis. They do not have any kind of economical things. So they lived in very poor condition. All the taxes which was paid by the people of France, very particularly the third class, doctors, teachers and common people like peasants. So they only need to pay plenty of taxes. So they got an anger against the first two classes. So they started to raise the voice against them. And after that, we are going to start in the events. See, so far we discussed the situation and structure of the France. What are the reasons for the French Revolution, that is we read, and the philosophers' contributions also we completed. Now we are going to start the events, how the French Revolution is held, that is only. So in the year of 1789, 14th July, we read in our previous video session, in the year of 1789 only, first President of USA, Mr. George Washington was appointed. At the same year only, the French Revolution was taken place. At that time, all the common people, they started to enter in the Bastille. Actually, Bastille is known as one prison. So they started to enter and they started to unlock the prisoners and made them everyone to be free. And they started to overthrow the kingship. So they overthrew the kingship and made all the prisoners to be free. And after that, what was happened? They followed the guillotine system. So guillotine is known as, you could see that the people, okay, king and queen. I mentioned the ruler of France, Mr. Louis XVI and his wife, Mary Antoinette, both the persons, they were caught and they were killed by the guillotine machine. Okay, and after that, what was happened? After that, there is a new rule was followed in the place of France. So what kind of rule? From the year of 1793 to 1794, there was a Jacobins rule. So who was the founder of Jacobin? The ruler of or the founder of the Jacobins is known as Robespierre, Maximilien Robespierre. This is the picture of Maximilien Robespierre, and he is a man who founder of the Jacobins. What is the meaning of Jacobins? The meaning of Jacobins is known as radicals. So violent people. These people, they killed the king and the queen and the nobles and every people. Those who are against the Jacobins, they also were killed. So some innocent people also were killed by the people of Jacobins. Many people, they lost their life during the Jacobins rule. So it was existed still 1793 to 1794, and after that there of 1795 the Jacobins rule came to an end, and after that the France, it became as the republic form of government. So they made a constitution. In that constitution they declared, the declaration of France is known as all men are born free and equal. So we should give them freedom and we should treat everybody as the equal. This is the declaration of France. The same time I mentioned the philosophers of France. They given three important words, that is known as liberty, equality and fraternity. These three words also were mentioned in the French constitution. Here I told you that France has become as the republic and it became as the liberty, equality and fraternity country. So this was happened, and every people of this world, so in this world many people, they were inspired because of the French Revolution. Okay children, below this video we attached an study material, question bank and self assessment in description box. Kindly go through that and enrich your knowledge. Thank you.